Hi, in this video I want to talk about a very common question I get in relation to pricing, which is how do I price in relation to my competitors? And oftentimes it is the number one most asked question, but it is also unfortunately the number one most knee-jerk question. Why is that? Because once you are asking this question, you are implicitly in a certain mindset. You are implicitly in a comparison mindset. Now, when you're launching a product, you may be launching a very unique product in a blue ocean sort of environment where there are actually no comparables. All right. Think of back in the day when CRM was not even CRM. When you started to automate all of these opportunities for the Salesforce, these Rolodexes, you didn't have a term CRM for all of this. That was blue ocean. Think today, if you're coming out with yet another customer support chatbot, that's a red ocean environment, right? So when you ask the question, how should I think about pricing in relation to my competition? You are actually more in the red ocean state of mind. But are you sure that you don't have this blue ocean product and wide opportunity? That is the first thing I'd like you to think about. All right. Now, you may say, listen, Ajit, my product isn't really blue ocean. My product isn't really that so much in red ocean. It's somewhere in the middle. Our category is still forming. I'll say fair enough. So that's what the remainder of the video is for. When you are coming, there's still going to be some sort of players in the category. So you have to think, how are you going to position against players in a category? When Amplitude launched in 2016, Mixpanel was a product analytics vendor that was giving out around 1 million free events. Amplitude came in at 10 million free events at that point in their free tier. This was a very specific particular strategy to get users from Mixpanel. I remember interviewing for Amplitude around 2017-18 where they told me this strategy. And I later on became a pricing expert, so now I'm telling this to you. If you watch our podcast, Code to Cash, in an earlier series, we interviewed Scott Williamson, CPO of GitLab, and earlier he used to work at SendGrid as well. He spoke about a time where there was this price war between Mandrill and SendGrid, right? Mandrill was a product that MailChimp had introduced. Later on, they had removed that and they went back to their traditional email marketing roots. But when Mandrill came out, SendGrid had to really increase the number of free emails that they were providing. So that is one strategy, right? Cut the competition really low and then try to acquire customers. Now, the larger meta point I want to say about this is totally legit and valid strategy, but understand that pricing in the world of SaaS and AI nowadays is like catching a dropping knife. You're going to undercut tomorrow. You're going to have a price war. If the competitor is a lot more financially stable, you may end up losing, right? So that could work, but you really have to understand what your financial situation is, understand your cost to serve, and then make a run for something like this. On the other hand, the traditional product marketer will tell you that, hey, you need to look for your differentiation, and based on your differentiation, you should price. Now, if you are in a market where the products are already getting commoditized, then you may want to add other service modules in order to add differentiation. But unless you have differentiation, you cannot actually go premium over your competitors, right? So if you have either build differentiation and build a premium over the competitors, match competitors or undercut competitors is a differentiation via pricing. But if you have to price higher, then you may actually have to build more product, you may have to build more services, or your positioning game should be much higher. Now, this last part startups don't tend to appreciate. When you're talking about cigarette brands, there's not much difference between cigarettes. When you're talking about soap brands, there's not much difference between soap. When you're talking about breakfast cereal, all these things are very much alike, yet they are significantly differentiated. There is a lot of room for differentiation in just the marketing and positioning, but if you decide you want to charge a premium, then you have to focus a lot more on the positioning and marketing and making sure that you can extract that premium. So it won't be as simple a decision as, hey, I'll price higher. Price higher has real world implications on how your marketing motion works. So hopefully that was helpful as an answer question to how you should price in relation to competition. Thank you.